Alrighty guys, good evening. It's our 8 o'clock show. First thing I'd like to say is thank you so much, Witness. You helped out with the insurance today. We are covered insurance for another month. Thank you so much. The only thing we really need help with now is fuel. And then we're good to go for a while. I'm trying to figure out something. I'm thinking that lady was posting bad things about me or something on that, because now nobody's responding to my stuff from the neighborhood app. I've been suspended, but the numbers that I had, they're not even replying to me, so I don't know what's going on. But we made another night. Got a little bit of food. We are, gonna make it through the night at least. We're gonna make it through the week. Like I said, thank you so much, Witness. We have insurance paid. I appreciate it so much. The only thing focus on right now is getting fuel, keeping fuel in the van, and then we're good to go really for a little bit. I'm still trying to find work. Like I said, I went to that place this morning, and I'm able to get a little bit of food from them and stuff like that. Small resources, but it helps tremendously. It'll help eat a little bit. So still not able to eat the meals I need to eat or the amount I need to eat every day. But it's definitely so much less, stress. And now that, like I said, the insurance was the biggest thing on my mind, because I was really scared about, losing the van. And we're good for at least another month on that. So, so I'm very thankful tonight. I feel all right tonight. My legs are just, I'm getting neuropathy bad in my legs because there's so much sugar in my system. But besides that, I'm not as nauseous today or nothing, which is good. It's another beautiful day, a little warmer today, but it's still nice. A very nice day, very nice evening. Nice full moon out there almost. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's the moon. It's very pretty tonight. I love the moon. Not a whole lot besides that has changed. I'm working on advertising on Facebook now and for groups and stuff like that. Anybody looking for help and stuff like that, so I can make some money. To get my, start saving towards the boat. Now that I've got everything taken care of a little bit, I can start really focusing on, like I said, all I got to focus now on really is fuel, and then just trying my best to save to have a, a home that I can actually, cook in and stuff like that, and take showers and all that happy stuff. But it's definitely a less stressful night now. I appreciate everybody so much. Well, and here comes the train, so you're gonna hear me for a second. So we shall let the bullet. It's the bullet train. It goes from Orlando to Miami. And it's over. It's much better than the regular trains. Regular trains come through here too, but they just last a lot longer and they're a lot louder. That one's not so bad. The other ones are carrying a lot of freight though, so there's that. But today was a good day, and I appreciate everybody. I really do. I'm a bit way more less stressed than I have been. So I still can't relax because I've got to get out of this situation. I've got to work towards getting a place to stay, not this van, a place where I can shower and I can cook and I can eat properly. But it's definitely, like I said, a huge step. My next goal, like I said, is fuel. I've got to fill this thing up. And then after that is going to be, I need to get some pots and pans. Witness, good evening. Thank you so much for earlier. I did get that. Thank you so much. I paid the insurance. It's good. It's all taken care of. I paid it as soon as I seen that. I didn't see it till a little later, but my phone didn't send me a thing. Well, it had it on notifications, but it didn't make a noise or pop up. Usually it does. So I didn't see it for a little while. But thank you so much again. The insurance, like I said, the insurance is paid. Everything is good. All I've got to worry about right now is fuel. I would like to try to get some pots and pans, just because, like I said, I have a burner, and if I can some stuff I can get, they'll give me that I can cook, and it'd be nice to be able to cook something, and have a hot meal. It's just a little butane burner, and I have 1 can of butane already for it. I just don't have any pots and pans. But that's like I said, my only focus right now is, my main focuses right now are, again, filling this thing out with fuel, and then getting pots and pans, and then after that, working on towards, saving every penny I possibly can get towards the boat. And that's going to be the plan. I don't know what happened with the painting job. I still haven't heard from them. I have a bad feeling that lady is out there running her mouth on that app. But I'm not on it anymore because she reported me for using a wrong name, which is stupid because my name is like literally my first and last name on there. They don't even like check to verify with you. They just go with what the customer says. So it's kind of strange. I think you should have some way to verify, okay, this is not true, instead of them just expelling you from the app. But I don't know. Feeling a bit better today, at least a lot less stressed. My sugars are pretty high again still, so I've got that horrible feeling in my legs, and my vision is still bad, but I was able to, like I said, I'm able to eat at least a meal a day now. The weekends are still going to be a little rough because they're not open on the weekends, but I can get a little meal over there during the day, so it's something in my stomach every day. And once I get away, I want to try to stay up for a little cooler as well, so I can start getting, once I start getting money in, I can start getting ice and stuff like that, and be able to keep a little bit in the cooler, and have like foods for a few days in the cooler, like that I can cook. Because hey kitten, how are you doing today? But that's my next, I have quite a few goals still, but there's, everything's moving around, moving up, moving closer to where where I need to be, and I'm very grateful for that. Like I said, a big burden's been lifted off my chest. I still got to work hard and figure it out. I don't want to live month to month, I want to make sure I start progressing in life and reaching my goals. And we've reached many of them recently, and it's been a blessing. And a lot of the new goals, the next things we got to work towards are a lot harder and a lot bigger goals. But slowly, it's not going to take, it's not going to be a month or 2 months. It's going to take a while to get to where I need to be. Well, I'm glad to hear you're good, kitten. Very, very glad to hear that. So I've been looking online to find out. I want to start at night. I haven't been able to find any, like, I don't know how people are using, like Matt Morrison and Steve and all that. I know Steve buys his cams, but I would like to start covering some of Iran, but I don't know where I don't know where Matt gets his, and even BC Preacher had some. I should reach out to BC. I mean, I've never really talked to him. We watched him a lot, and I've watched him for a very, very, very long time, but I've got to see where these people are getting their cams, because if we started covering that, that would be a good thing to do at night as well, because we could watch that while we have our nightly chats. But step by step, I'm just grateful for today, and I'm going to be happy today, and I'm going to be, I'm doing okay, everything's starting to look up a little bit, I'm still working on work, trying to figure that out, but I'm alive, and I ate today, and the car insurance got paid, and I'm doing a lot better than I was yesterday, so I appreciate you asking. I still feel like crap, mainly my legs, like I said, my legs, and my, hold on, here comes another train. Man, these things come so often. Do you still have a way to reach him, kitten? Because if so, maybe you could, if you're willing, maybe you could ask him where he gets his cams from. I've never talked to him before, so like I said, I watched him for years, we've watched him together, but I've never actually reached out to him. But I know he's been using some cams too as well to do his lives, and I'm just curious where to get them from. No, it's alright. Maybe if anybody else has any clues of where we can get this footage from, that we're not going to get in trouble from, of course. Like, I got to make sure I'm not, you know, using any copyrighted information. No, he is very, very nice, and I'm not sure I can. I'll try to comment to him on one of his posts or something. Maybe he'll reach back out to me. I need to make up that email still for this news station. I still haven't done that. I keep forgetting to. I really need to start writing stuff down because I don't think about it till after. And then maybe you can just shoot me an email and I can talk to him that way. But he's a great guy. I like BC Preacher. And he's been doing coverage on Iran lately. Like I said, there's not much really going on with protests. I mean, they're they're pretty much, you know, very low lately. You know, it's like, I don't know, which is a good thing, really. I mean, I'd rather there be no protests. I'd rather, you know, everybody just get along and start being peaceful with each other. I know it's not going to happen, but it's a hopeful wish. But, you know, today's been a good day. Like I said, I can't complain. I've got to, you know, just keep working towards my goals, focusing on everything I need to do every day, and I'm going to slowly get out of this mess. It's nice to know that I have food options now. It's nice to know that I can, you know, like I said, the insurance is paid. That's amazing. It's nice to know, you know, that I can, you know, focus on other things. I mean, my biggest, like, you know, like I said, right now, my next two focuses are getting fuel for the van, and I need to get a pot and a pan, like a frying pan and just a boiling pot, so I can make cheaper food, and even donation food and stuff like that. You know, like from I can actually cook some of it, and that will make life 20,000 times better, and cheaper by so much more cheaper. Because I can get some noodles, and I can get a big old thing of noodles, some rice, and, you know, stuff like some things of chicken to put in the rice or whatever. So I'm actually having, but I have to eat like brown rice and stuff like that because white rice has too many carbs, and I can't have carbs at all. That's my sugar. Gotta be real careful on. I can have carbs. I just gotta have low carbs. And rice is very carby. But brown rice is good, and it lasts a long time, and it's cheap, you know. So I could, you know, stock up on cheap things like that. And then every once in a while I'll get, you know, like chicken and stuff like that I can cook up just a small package of chicken. And if I had a cooler and with ice, I could actually, you know, put it in Tupperware and keep it, you know, cook up, you know, get a big package of chicken and cook a bunch, you know, a package up, you know, last me a couple days, you know. So, a lot of good things to look forward to in life. Even when, you know, I'm out here living in this and you know, still, you know, I still need a whole lot of things in life, you know, like, yeah, pasta's bad for me too. So I can't, like, carbs. So basically, things with carbs, which would be your potatoes, your anything pasta, anything rice, pretty much anything with either carb or sugar in it. I can't have a lot of. Like, I can't have bread. Bread's very bad for me. I can have little amounts of it, but I can't have a lot. I have to eat a lot of proteins, like chickens and eggs and meat, and like I can have like oats and brown rice and stuff like that. And you know, it's a really strict diet that I'm supposed to be on, because anything with carbs break down to sugar. So it doesn't necessarily have to say it has sugar in it. If it has carbs in it, it has sugar in it. That's what carbs break down to. And that just makes my stuff skyrocket. Now I can have a little bit of it, like I said. You can have like 15-20 grams, which is very little bit of carbs, you know, per meal. You know, but you want to stay very, very low carb, which is hard because it makes you lose weight. And I'm already a skinny guy, and I've been losing so much weight not eating, you know, properly at all. Like I said, I'm supposed to have 5 meals a day. That ain't gonna happen, not anytime soon at least. And but I'm getting there, you know. I'm at least eating once a day now, you know. I mean, that's my goal. Besides the weekends, I've only got to focus on the weekends. This weekend might be a little bit rough, but you know, like I said, everything's paid up. I ate today. I actually had lunch today, and I had something for dinner. So I did have 2 meals today, which is very, very nice. It's the first time in a while I've had 2 meals in a day. But I still got to figure out laundry and all this other crap. But it's, you know, just, you know, one step at a time. And, you know, hopefully, I know, and not hopefully, because I know I will. I'll know I'll get out of this. I know I'll be, self-sufficient again one day, and hopefully one day soon. But it's still going to be a long process. It's still going to take me a while, especially with how sick I get all the time. It makes it very, very difficult. But I just got to keep figuring it out and keep, going to the drawing board and, all right, this worked, that didn't work, this worked, and that didn't work, whatever, and then just stick with the things that work and get rid of the things that don't, and, kind of live my life the best I can with what I have. I mean, I might not have a shower or a place to do laundry or a place to stay warm if it gets cold, or, but I have the van, I have a bed. I have a bed, and that's pretty much all I have, but, and my dirty clothes. But I have something, and it's a start. It's it's not the worst place I could be. There's people that don't even have a van or have a bed. Some people have to sleep in the woods or on the ground, and I feel for these people too. But I just, like I said, you just got to keep moving forward. I've really got to get my eyes checked. It's like they are so blurry. It's so hard to even where my donation thing is on the top right hand corner. Like me looking at it, I can't really, the words are just, and it's big words too, but I can't really make them out. And I wrote them. I mean, I know what they say because I wrote them. I just can't read them. My eyes are getting really bad. But speaking of that, I really should take some more insulin. I have a few days left of that. That's when things get really weird. I've never ran into insulin before. But if I go to the hospital, they can write me out well, they can give me some there, hopefully. But I don't know. I don't know how exactly that works because Tommy's live. Where's he at today? It's early. I gotta finish doing my hour here before I watch him or anything. Alright, hold on. Let me take my insulin real quick, guys. I gotta turn this light on so I can see. Alright, let's see. 4 units. Well, it's getting a little chilly. I don't know why sometimes this hurts worse than others. Usually it doesn't hurt at all, but sometimes it just burns. I hate taking insulin. I really, really do. But if I don't, I croak, so. Oh, is there a lot of people there? I don't know why people are protesting Iran. I mean, come on. Iran's one of the worst countries in the world with the dictatorship they have and the things they have done. It's like, come on, seriously. Like, how are you're going to say Trump's all these bad things, but then you're going to support a dictator? It's kind of funny, It's just dumb. But I don't know. Not very smart. Oh man. It's starting to get chilly. Yeah, I don't know. It's all silly, guys. I'm almost wiped out of the protest, honestly. It's just, I don't know. It got overwhelming just watching protests every day. I'm kind of glad they're running down now. I mean, you're going to have the Iran pop-up ones right now just because the war is going on and, they want to support a dictator or whatever, but it's silly. There's so much hate, so much hate. We need positive vibes. We need love in this world. We need to change who we are, and but unfortunately things like that sell, and people watch it, and it definitely can. I mean, it's and it's fun to watch every once in a while. Not really fun, but it's interesting because it's good to put out there what's really going on or whatnot, but at the same time, it's like, you know, we're almost glorifying it. You know, if nobody covered it at all, and these just, you know, didn't get covered, they'd eventually die. People only do this because they want to be seen. They would stop if nobody, you know, covered it. They don't care about any of these things. They care about being seen. They care about being cool. I mean, that's why the kids are doing it now, you know? But this shit sells, man. People put it up on YouTube and it goes like crazy. People just get, you know, pushed into all this drama and this weird stuff, when we should be supporting each other and helping each other and, you know, making the world a better place. It's kind of the reason why I don't, you know, like, I do a little bit, but like if something big happens, but like I can't do it every day, you know. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, kid, and it's not, you know, it's not a safe place, you know. These people are crazy, you know. It's just stupid. We should all feel safe to be to be anywhere we want to be. You know, we should be able to walk downtown or walk to the store or be a lady and you know, not walk at night and feel everybody feel comfortable. You know, we live in a strange world, and it can be a very dangerous world. I mean, we have it way better than a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, but we live in a bad society. You know, like I said, where I have to park my van is in a horrible, horrible spot. But at the same time, you know, I know my surroundings, and, you know, I know that I have to park here if I don't want to, you know, get harassed by the cops and stuff like that. So, but our society has definitely changed. We as a people have changed, and it's, like I said, very sad, you know. There's a lot of us who still have that, you know, that old school natural, you know, loving, caring, wanting to help people type attitude, but there's a lot of people who get off on this crap. It's horrible. But if we have enough of us stay true, you know, maybe we'll make a difference. Maybe we won't, maybe we will, but, you know, if at least we can say we try. You guys have been, you know, you know, we have a small audience compared to how we used to have, but you guys have been amazing, and I'd rather have a small audience every day than a bunch of people that just don't really care about nobody's situation. They just want to see hate, you know, and that I appreciate. I'd rather have good friends than fake ones. And I respect every single, you know, subscriber, and if they don't feel like watching, it's perfectly fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying in general, people who watch these streams aren't always, they don't care about the streamer as much as they care about watching, you know, something cool go down or something like that. And it's a big case now. It's, you know, like, we get off on violence. We get out, like, you know, that's why Iran get so popular right now, watching people. I mean, they want watching it. It's not because they care about it. They want to see bombs go off, and they want to see destruction, and that's a big majority of the people. Yeah, kid, don't do anything that would, I mean, look at what they do to Tommy, and Tommy's a big guy, you know, a decent size at least, you know. He can handle his own, and he still has a rough time, you know. Definitely don't ever put yourself in a position, you know. As much as we need to, it's still not worth it, you know. As much as we need to, you know, make a stand and say, hey, it's, you know, we're done with all this crap. At the same time, you cannot put yourself in jeopardy, you know. It's not worth you getting hurt over. Your life's very valuable. Everybody's, even the people out there I don't like. I don't want nothing to happen to them. Do I want them to go to jail half the time? Abso-freaking-lutely. But I don't want nothing bad to happen to them. I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want anybody to get hurt on any side. I want us to calm down and get along with each other. You know, if we supported each other as a community, as much as we did watch these protests and hate and bombs and everything else like that, we would live in a beautiful world. A beautiful world. But we don't. We're, you know, like I said, we're susceptible to violence for some reason, you know. We're drawn to it. to each his own. I mean, like I said, I don't hate on anybody. I'm not mad at anybody or nothing like that. I just wish better for the world. And I think everybody truly, deep down in their heart, should hopefully wish better for the world. Nobody wants to see anybody, go through all this crap. Nobody wants to see, America do bad. I mean, I wouldn't either, I mean, it's very hard to trust anybody nowadays. You can't, like I said, Tommy went down. He didn't say nothing to those kids bad, I mean, he voiced his opinion like he normally does or whatever, but he wasn't sitting there antagonizing the kids or nothing like that, and they just turned on him. You don't know who's going to turn on you nowadays, It could be a group of kids, it could be a group of adults, it could be thugs, it could be anybody, It's a scary part of society now. We don't live in the same, America we used to live in. And that's not because of a president, that's because of the people. We elect the president, and we have, we follow things. And we're, a lot of people are natural born followers, and that's where you get these stupid things. I'm a leader, I don't follow anything. I always have my own opinion. And that's where we get all this crap from, because you have these, these people saying these things, and the news saying these things, and you have all these people driven to it. And they're like, yes, we must do this, we must do that. And it's horrible. I absolutely wish it would stop, Like I said, if we could take the amount of energy we put into protest, and that we put into violence, and that we put into hate, and we turn that around and we did the exact opposite and put it into the community, put it into love, put it into caring about people, helping people out, there wouldn't be people suffering, nearly as much people suffering as there are now. People say they care about human rights, like even the left, they say, oh, human rights this, human rights that, but you're not helping people who, you are not helping people who are actually in pain. You're out there helping people that are illegal or criminals or doing whatever, but you're not helping your own people. We have to help America first. It's like, kind of like when you say you can't love somebody unless you love yourself. You can't help a country unless you help your own country first. You have to be a good, stable, strong country. And we're strong, but we are not stable. We are not united. We are far from it. We have a whole lot of work to do. And until we do that, we cannot help anybody else. There's nothing wrong with wanting immigration, as long as it's done correctly. There's nothing wrong with any country or any race, as long as they're not dictatorships or killing people. When you get into that aspect of it, then it becomes evil, horrible, and that's where things go wrong. And I'm never 100% behind somebody, so I can say I support Trump. I support everything. Majority of things he's done. Has he made mistakes? I'm sure. I can't name them off right now, but he's done well for the country. But I never blindly follow anybody, so I never say I'm 100%. But I get what you're saying. Just because I like to have that thought of disagreeing is absolutely natural and normal, and still being able to be part of what you believe in. Absolutely. I mean, we pay so much in taxes. I mean, like, we became an independent country because why? A tax. And look at us now. We are way overpaying what they were. I mean, they were treating us horrible too. The British were, but it wasn't just the tax, but it was a lot of it, And we're getting taxed. Like, we have to work. I mean, 30% of your income, pretty much, you get a thing, is gone. And so, that's horrible. And then you have, on top of that, you have, that's just out of your paycheck. Then you pay taxes upon everything you buy. Then you got to pay property tax. Then you got to pay all these other taxes. I mean, like, we're taxed to death. And we're one of the only countries who work as much as we do because we have to, because we pay so much. I mean, well, a lot of democratic countries have to pay even more. They actually, like England and Europe, are way worse than we are. And they have way stricter rules. But we should not nearly have to. We shouldn't be paying anything to other countries. We should be taking care of ourselves. We shouldn't be sending to all these projects and all these other things everywhere else when we have so many homeless people, so many problems here that we could easily fix. Everything is fixable. I paid taxes my whole life, and up till I got sick last year, about a year and a half ago now, and I can't get assistance. It's like, why did I pay? How come I paid these thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and you're willing to help out some, LGBTQ in, Zimbabwe or whatever things they do? I'm just using that as an example, and that's not exactly true. I'm just throwing something out there, but because they have weird things that they cover. And I'm not saying that, we shouldn't support that here. We should just, in other countries, we're sending money away. but I can't get a penny, you know, and it's stupid. I mean, we should all question ourselves all the time to make sure we're in check, you know. It's very good to question yourself. It's not, you know, it's not healthy to look at everything and just say, okay, it's this way and it's going to be this way. You know, you have to question everything. You have to doubt everything. You have to wonder about everything, you know. Like, I don't like I said, I don't blindly follow anything. I always question everything. Like, why are they doing this? Why do we have this? This makes no sense. I mean, like, they literally, I love Florida. Florida's, you know, and I liked Ron DeSantis and all that stuff. Do I agree with everything they do here? Absolutely not. They made homeless illegal. Literally, it's illegal to be homeless here. And that's the stupidest thing in the world I've ever heard. So just because I appreciate him and a lot of things he does doesn't mean I back everything. Like, and you know, the cops here are very strict about it. Luckily, they made it a little bit easier in a car than they did on the streets. If I was on the streets, I'd have a very big problem because you can't sleep anywhere outside. Anywhere, public property nowhere. You can't, you know. And I don't believe in encampments and all that stuff because they end up being drug zones. But people still have to sleep. You know, it's not a question of if you can or want to or should. You have to sleep. It is a human necessity. And so, like I said, you know, I will, you know, I'll never feel guilty. Feel proud to be yourself. Feel proud to understand yourself. Feel proud to know who you are, what you are, and, you know, that you've come to the conclusions that you need to use your brain instead of blindly following. That's where you should be proud about. Like, I'm proud every day that I have how I think. If I see something stupid, I'm not going to say, okay, cool, go Trump. If I see something stupid that he does, I'm going to say, okay, that's a shitty thing to say, but whatever, you know. I don't like that, but doesn't mean I don't like 10,000 other things he does. Or, you know, not even necessarily even like Trump. I'm saying any part of your local government, even the police. You know, the police I see around here, they harass homeless people for just trying to get some sleep. And I don't agree with that. I support the police officers very much, but I still don't think that's okay, because I think everybody has that right. And being homeless myself, it's very, you know, hard to, you know, try to figure out this when you're already homeless, you know. I mean, it's already hard enough to be homeless. Now we're adding on 10,000 other things, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, at the same time, we've got to figure a way for America to be America again, you know. We've got to figure a way to, you know, be proud of ourselves. Yeah, they do, and it just sucks because, you know, like, especially when, you know, it's not everybody's fault for becoming homeless. Now, there are people out there who are just alcoholics or drug addicts, and they spend all their money on that, and they don't get out of their situation. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't help them. Everybody deserves help, but I'm saying that's on them. But there's people like me, or people who, like, just, you know, or moms or whatever, that have come into a hard time. Things are so expensive, they just can't find it, and they become homeless. And it's not their fault, and they're you know, like, you can't use that "not in my backyard" opportunity. You know, if we actually care about civilization, if we care about humans, you know, we have to find better resources, better ways. We're paying all this money into taxes. Why don't we use it on better things, like helping people? We need more homeless shelters. We need more support systems. We need more things, you know, and they need to be temporary and not long term, but we still need them. And we can't have people that live off the government either, because that just, you know, there's just people that would do that their whole lives if they had the opportunity. And, like, I don't want to live, you know, I'm, like I said, everybody knows I'm very homeless. You know, I live in my van. I don't have, you know, literally a pot to piss in. And I don't want to take advantage of the system either. I would love to have help, but I would love to have short-term help. Like I said, my goal isn't to get a place. My goal is to get a boat, because that's where it's cheaper for me. Even when I get sick, I know I have a home, because I get sick a lot. So that's my goal, you know. My goal is, you know, to save up for a cheap boat. You know, you can get one for about $4 or $5 grand, and anchor it out, and I'm going to be good for a long time. I know how to, you know, maintenance them. I know how to work on them. I know how to. I've had boats my whole life. I've lived on boats, and that's how I'm going to live my life, you know. And so I don't want to live, you know, I don't need, you know, housing or all this stuff. But, you know, when I need, you know, like, medical help, it's even hard to get here unless you're, like, either, you know, you have children, or you're under the age, or you're elderly. You know, I'm middle-aged, a little older than that. I'm 43. And I can't, getting assistance with medical, my insulin and all that, it's not a very easy task in Florida. And it sucks because it's like something you can't live without. It's very difficult. If I don't have my insulin, I will die. There's just no way around that. I have to have insulin or I will die. Your body needs it. Your body can't live without it. And my body doesn't produce anymore, so I have to have insulin. I have to have my pens. I have to have my medicine. But they don't see it that way. They see you're able-bodied. But when you're able-bodied, sure, but they also don't think of when you're sick, it's very hard to do these things. Can I go out there and work? Absolutely. But can I work every day and make it sometimes a lot harder for me than other people? It is, because I'm, like I said, especially in my current situation where I can't cook and can't eat properly, my sugars are high all the time. If your sugars are running around 400 every day and you try to want to work, you're going to have a hard time. And it's a horrible feeling. I promise you that, for anybody who hasn't had diabetes or understand what being at that level constantly makes your body feel like. It's not a pleasant thing at all. And I've, never wanted to go to a doctor complain about being sick. I struggled through it. I had, I've had pneumonia and went out and shoveled snow for 18 hours on a shift, but this is something different. It's not fun, it's very difficult. Definitely the hardest thing I've had to deal with in my life is diabetes. Especially when just because I can't control it right now. I can't live the way the doctors want me to live right now. It's just not humanly possible. But it is what it is at the same time. I just got to make it happen. But I don't know. But I think we can do a whole lot better as a community, a whole lot better as a world, a whole lot better as, society. And I have beautiful hopes for this world because I've seen what we've become. If everybody looks at 9/11, everybody knew how close and tight we were after that. Didn't matter what color your skin was. It didn't matter what you voted. Everybody just gave a crap about each other. And that's the America I love. It sucks it took what happened to make us that way. But for a while, we were that way. For a while. But then, seems like, I don't know, after 2000, things started to change. Maybe it was probably 2000 and things started to change after Bush, really. I don't like Bush very much, and I'm a Republican. I just don't like him. But I'm more of an independent. I've always registered as an independent. I'm definitely more right-leaning nowadays. But I like Clinton. I thought Clinton was cool. I didn't care about his scandals or whatever, but I thought he did a decent job. But really, maybe since Obama became president, things just went weird, And I don't know. It's just like America changed after that. It became very hateful. It became very politicized. Very, very different. I don't understand why. What triggered it? I think a lot of corruption started happening. I'm not saying there wasn't corruption before, but I think the scales of the corruption have definitely exceeded what they used to be by a lot. And I think that has made society change. Yeah, and it's so weird because nobody thought prior to this race war, especially the riots of 2020. No, but I don't go down the road and say, oh no, there's a black person, yada yada yada. No, I say there's a person. Nobody thinks about this. Nobody really cares about race until you push it on somebody and make it about race, because the world isn't racist. We have racist people, always have racist people, but it's a very slim majority. Very tiny. And honestly, black people are more racist than white by 1,000%. They'll tell you. And I have a lot of black friends. I'm not using that as, oh, I got a black friend. I actually have a lot. I've always lived in, poorer areas and ghettos and stuff like that. And I made a lot of good friends. And honestly, the ghetto will help you out quicker than rich people will. They stick together as a family. But anyways, that being said, nobody cares about this stuff. This world has been put in, it's because, the left now, you don't agree with them, it's automatically racist. It's like, no, I'm not agreeing with you. I don't care what, it has nothing to do about race, creed, color, sexual orientation, blah, 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 blah. It has to do with right and wrong. And we've got so far away from what, is actually supposed to be, or what happens to be true, that, it's just stupid. Yeah, my sister has Milano kids, and I think they're the most beautiful babies in the world. I love my nephews, and my nephew and my niece. They're both Milano, and I support that 1,000%. And I think they're amazing kids, and I think their fathers, granted, one of them cheated on my sister, but besides that, they're good people. One was in the middle. They were both Marines. Both her father's her kids. They were both Marines and both black, and both, minus the cheating aspect, absolutely great gentlemen. They, served our country. They worked hard. They did a lot of, good stuff. They were, not criminals. They weren't bad people. They were just good people that, whatever. They, my sister wasn't as good either. She cheated on them too. So, it is what it is, But I'm just saying, people are people. It's not, we all bleed the same color. Oh, Danny is too. See, look, now I have another black friend. I'm just kidding, Danny. But not, see, like, it doesn't matter. Like, that, it should never even matter. Nobody should even have to ever care about what color they are, Nobody should ever have to worry about anything. Because, I will help out a person in need, whether they are any color, any race, any sexual creed. I don't even care if you're gay, straight, lesbian, or even trans or anything. As long as it's not being pushed on our kids, I don't care what anybody is. I really don't. I don't care at all. But welcome, Danny. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But it's just crazy, It's very, very crazy what we become nowadays, Like, I'm in a neighborhood that's, majority is black here, and I go in the store and everybody greets me and they say hello. I say hello to them. Everybody's beautiful. It's just not as bad as people make it out to be. It's like we live in this horrible, horrible world, and it's so not true. We live in a horrible world of people who lie and people who use agendas to control people, and that's what we live in. And it's sad, but it is what it is. We can either deal with it, or we can try to change it. And I always try to change it by just being nice to everybody I possibly can. It's the only way you can succeed in life is to not judge people for what they are, who they are, what they believe in. Like I said, I have Democratic friends, and do I believe what they say? Absolutely not. Do we talk about politics? No, because we just it's just not, we don't need to. We talk a little bit. It's not very good to well, not that I talk to a lot of people anyways, but people I have talked to, my friends in the past, whatever. Still, it's a silly world we live in, a very, very, very silly world. This time's going by fast today. But I think we can change, and I think we can do a whole lot better. Like I said, if we use all this hate and all this, disinformation and bullcrap, and the way we flock to violence, the same way we did is cared about our community and cared about one another, we would never be in this place in the first place. Absolutely, we're just people, Danny. Like, we don't care. Like, I didn't care if you were purple with, and 30 feet tall. It doesn't matter. You're Danny, and Danny's been watching us for a while, and I appreciate Danny. I appreciate each and every one of you. Because you're people, and you take the time out of your day for somebody else. That's what makes you guys good people. You guys could be doing 10,000 other things right now, but you're sitting right here. That's your dog? Oh, I need to get a dog. I need to definitely get some things straight first, but I miss having a dog. Even though I only had one for a couple days, it was a nice feeling not to be here alone every night. It was such a nice feeling. It's going to get hot, though, too, so I really might have to wait till I get on a boat or something where I can actually have fans and coolness and stuff like that, because I don't want the dog to suffer. It does get very hot in this fan. Like I said, I have a big fan, and it's a rechargeable one, but I have to get, I don't have a battery pack to, I can't use an inverter, it just kill my batteries. It's a big fan. It's a powerful fan. It's a nice little one. It even has a thing to add water to it or whatever, too, so you can add cold water to it to make it like a AC type thing. But, oh well. I'll have to eventually figure out solar or something like that. Like I said, I'd like to get a solar generator. Your dog is Japanese. I'll see. He's a good guy too. He's a boy or a girl for your dog? Well, I miss having a dog, man. That was so nice just for those couple days. It got me out walking. I haven't walked since. I need to get out walking. I think that's what helped my legs out a whole lot. Oh man, that breeze feels so nice now. Oh man. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this a few minutes early. I really got to use the bathroom, and if not, I would go the extra like 15 minutes by far. But like, I really got to go to the bathroom, and I have to go into the store to do it before they close. So I'm gonna end this early. Sorry, it's a few minutes early. It's not much, but we will be back on tomorrow. I will do another. I'm probably gonna do another short tonight, and then just try to keep up on things. And then I'm still gonna post one regular video and go live at 8 o'clock every evening. And like we plan on doing, like I said, this will be every night will be 8 o'clock from now on. So we'll plan on that. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you again so much, Witness, one more time, and everybody else who has pitched in. We do have the car insurance paid. Like I said, my only focus now is fuel and trying to get a pot in a pan. That's my next steps. How close are we to being monetized? Oh gosh, we still have about 900, a little less than 900 hours to get the first step. We're not getting very many. We only get 10 to 15 watch hours a day, so it's a long process. I'm praying by the end of the month, at the end of this month, that we'll have the first step done, and then it'll be like another month and a half to get the second step done. First step is, we get super chats. I don't really like super chats. They take 30% of it. I'd rather people still use my Cash App, my Venmo, or my PayPal. But Cash Apps are still there. Some people like to see their name on the thing, so I don't really care. And then we have memberships, which I will have a membership thing, which is pretty much going to be, I don't know, we're going to do something special, not special broadcasts, because I think nobody should have to pay to watch. But we're going to do something special for all our members, and all that. And then also we'll have, when we get the next one, that's when you need 4,000 watch hours, so we're about 1,900 watch hours away from that. Then we can start getting ad money. And that's where it really makes good. So, but anyways, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I gotta use the bathroom, so good night.